Alrighty, yo guys, Beast back with some more Weekly content. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a build lap sort of scenario here. So this is my Newcastle build that I have been working on. I don't have a full showcase over this. Once again, this is just slowly starting to do it. I'm going to start doing builds on all of my little camp builds that I have going on in the wasteland because they're kind of big. This is apartment builds today, so we're just going to be going through here and decorating the apartments out and creating them and placing the rental notice. This is kind of a continuation of the Commonwealth Landlord mod showcase sort of dealio here, but also it's a build lap. So without further ado, first things first, there's going to be a lot of bed placing in this video. There's going to be just a lot of stuff going on here. We did try and decorate each of these apartments more of like based upon the value of the apartment. By putting more stuff or less stuff in an apartment and making it nicer or less nicer and increasing and decreasing the caps. That way it feels a little immersive. At the end of this, once I have all the apartments said and done in the Newcastle build, we were making a little over 1,000 caps every single day on rent, which is a little bit high, honestly, in my own opinion. I accidentally left my game open overnight and I woke up to like 20,000 caps just from collecting rent overnight, which that kind of broke the immersion for me a little bit, but the fact that I have so many shops to build and so many settlements, I'm okay with having 20,000 caps if I'll leave it open overnight. That's a lot better than me going into command and having to add that in. But as you can see, we were just decorating this one here. We used the sofa bed. We were going to have a normal bed as well, but really there's just no room for that. So we went ahead and went for the sofa bed here. As you can see, we actually made an entire kitchen set sort of dealio here. So I think maybe the next apartment after this one, or one after this one even, there was one that had like a washer and dryer setup. And that got me thinking that some of these apartments aren't getting washer and dryer setups, while one has a full setup, but it's only like 75 caps. So what I was thinking is maybe making a public laundromat for everyone that couldn't use. Because I think I'd much rather have a kitchen in my own apartment than I would have a laundromat in my own apartment. So I think one of those rooms that are just in the castle, I'm going to do a future video with a laundromat build in one of those, which would be very easy with all the little wasteland workshop mods I have. So I have a few mods on. First of all, there's place everywhere. That's a very important mod. It just allows you to get your stuff to place a lot easier. I know some people do like all sorts of glitches to get stuff to place right and stuff, and I don't do that. I just use place everywhere mod. I do use like the little bitty tips people give, like using a piece of concrete pillar and stuff like that. I do still use that because it does help you align stuff better sometimes. But place everywhere is going into effect here. It just interference with stock items that are already there still is a little bit funky even after having place everywhere. But it's not too bad. As you can see here though, the apartment is starting to look pretty complete. I think we ended up putting like a little TV down or something. Some of these we did design and then change up the design on just because we didn't really like it. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with these little apartment builds here. This is just part of my Newcastle renovation slash city sort of dealio. I have a ton of shops to continue to build. I did record all of the shops for the upper floor of the Newcastle build, so we will be getting to see some videos on the upper floor of the Newcastle. As you can see here though, I think we were just down to putting doors on apartments 4 and 5 of the A series. We may have built like an A6 apartment. I think we already seen that. I don't think I've put in the lettering on it yet. But as you can see here, they're not bad little apartments. I think there's a full showcase of them and just showing you the hall of apartments at the end of the video. If you're looking more for that, this is more just to show you the building and give you some ideas for your own little buildings. We stick a little ceiling fan in here. I think it goes nice. I do actually really like how the ceiling is in the castle. When you look up, it actually gives it a very nice vibe in that apartment 5 there. Apartment 4 here did need some decoration. This is the one I was talking about. This one's only 75 caps and it has a washer and dryer. The other apartments don't always get a washer or dryer, so what I was thinking is making a laundromat out of one of those little recreation areas, because I think all of the school buses I have up top need to be like Minutemen not Minutemen bunkers, but like Minutemen barracks, so that all the Minutemen can just sleep there. Any settlers are going to rent out the apartments. That's the setup. And I don't charge rent on my barracks at this point in time. I only charge taxes on the Minutemen that live here. So I think that's fair. I don't really want to rent out the barracks. They're not for rent. They're just, the soldiers need a place to live and they do defend the castle. So, you know, as you can see here, 75 caps for an apartment with a washer and dryer. Pretty good. This is the little area I was talking about, thinking about renovating and changing over to a laundromat in a future video. But as you see here, we needed to put a wall up on this one. All of these apartments I already had done the walling for, which, except for this one, because this one I decided to make in the middle of the video. We used the metal wall here, which is a little bit different than the other apartments, which isn't too noticeable, and I don't mind it really. And it's just because this is a pretty cheap apartment. I think this was an extremely cheap apartment. You have to sleep in an institute bed, but you do get a couple storage devices, and you get a light in there too. So it's not the worst apartment. It's a really cheap apartment. It's also just a tiny apartment that just, if you need a place to sleep and put some stuff at and lock it up, there you go, rent this apartment. That's kind of the scenario of this apartment. You're not going to be in it for a good minute, like the ones with TVs and things like that. Apartment 6, there we go. Now we should be going on into the B series in a minute, but we are setting our rent for all of these apartments. As you can see here, that is part of the Commonwealth Landlord mod. If you have not seen my video over that, do go check it out. But as you can see here, we are on to the B series apartments. The B1 apartment was actually interesting because it's actually part of where there's stairs going out into the roof of the castle. So I went ahead and just put a door there with like privacy signs up, just trying to let people know, stay out of here, this is where someone lives, just to give their tenant at least the most privacy as possible. It's not going to work, I can't really lock the door or anything, which is, I guess I could find a locked door mod, so I could lock that door and keep people out of there. But I kind of like going through there myself to get the places faster sometimes, and I don't mind doing that apartment anyway. But I did put this restricted access unauthorized personnel keep out, and the little shack door that has the stop sign on it that says caution and everything that, you know, kind of tells you stay out of there. That's someone's house sort of set up there. We did actually put like screen fencing in here for the window. I think it turned out pretty well in the end. I did like this apartment. I think this was maybe even a 200 caps apartment. I think, yeah, this one has a solid wall. I think the apartment over from this one has like a fenced wall. I did that kind of just to break up the flow and the look in the hallway a little bit. I figured I'd just put stuff in front of the fencing, and having a little bit of a window leading out to the hallway if someone wanted that sort of setup. But as you can see here, apartment B1 completed. We're just going to go ahead and put our rental notice on here and be on to apartment B2. Alrighty, so as you can see, we did go ahead and just place our rental notices on apartment B2 and B3, and then we went ahead and started decorating B2. B2 is one of the ones with the screened wall. I used flags to cover up the wall there. This one had a Brotherhood of Steel vibe going on to it for this apartment. I think that's just going to be what's going on here. The Brotherhood of Steel member lives here. This is a Minutemen-based city, however, anybody can live here. The Brotherhood of Steel could, in fact, live here. I think I'm going to try and keep the Minutemen and the Brotherhood of Steel alive. I actually have not finished the main game of the story yet on this save, that is. I have finished that before. But not on this save, and last time I did it I played legit and didn't add resources and stuff. But that's only for building, so as you can see here, this is the apartment B2. I ended up kind of doing like a, you live in the maintenance closet for the water purifiers outside, because there's a little tube running out there, so I stuck like a little console tower command thing here. So it's like, this is the water control room, but you can rent it out for pretty cheap because it's still a roomy apartment. You just got to deal with the pipe running through the wall. This one is another one with a window. Once again, those screen fences are just super easy to make a window there. I think it looks pretty good. As you can see here, we already had some flags put up when we first built the walls just to cover that one up, just to test out the idea of that. You can also see the flags through the window when you walk by the apartment. It just kind of adds like a decorated sort of feel to it, to where it's like, okay, every single member of each apartment has decorated their apartment how they wanted it. But as you can see there, that is about the end of it. That is apartment B3 completed. That is every single apartment in the little Newcastle area. I don't think I have any more room for actual apartments from this point on out. So that should be all of the land I am going to be renting out in Newcastle. So it should be about 1,000 caps a day in rent, and then every time new settlers come in. And then of course we'll have barracks for anyone who wants to be a soldier. As you can see here though, this is what setting the rent is like. All you have to do is just scroll down and choose the amount of caps you want to add to your rent. It will increase the rent by that much. You can increase rent if you go and do like a modification to the place and make it worth more value, say. You can increase the amount of rent that's going to be collected daily. And as you can see here, this is just my Death Incarnate robot. I built this thing thinking he was going to be great, and then all he ever did was blow me up in battle. So I kind of send him other places. I think eventually I get rid of him, but I don't think it's in this video. I do think I sent him to the Mechanist layer last time I seen him. I think this was an attempt to dismiss him. He just wouldn't leave for some reason. He's just there to haunt me forever because I made this monstrosity. But I do believe that should be about the end of the video. I am going to go ahead and say enjoy the video. Leave a like if you haven't already, and keep it beast mode. I'm out. See you. I will go ahead and have just a little showcase showing the hallways of the apartments, and then also each little apartment at the end here. Enjoy the showcase if you want, but I'm out. See you. Keep it beast mode.